Okay, the race here today is coming from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. This is the 15-turn, 2.4-mile track, and we will go do the reconnaissance lap thing here. So this is turn one, a long left-hander, 90 degree. These are like a wide. Uh, having some trouble with our paint today. The scheme is a little bit different. Uh, this turn 2 and 3 here. It's the chicane that's added, and then we have kind of a long turn 4 here, trying to get the car rotated enough to get back on the throttle, going down this sort of back straight here. Come towards the inside of the track. You can drift back out to the left here, and then right about the 300 sign, start getting on the brakes hard, trail the brake into the turn to help the rear end rotate around here, and then do kind of the same here, trailing the brake, getting the rear end to rotate. And again here, there's a lot of kind of long turns where you're using that trail brake, or at least I do, trying to help the car rotate. Blind turn over the crest, braking here, another kind of blind turn over this crest. Don't want to run too wide here. And you're coming up on kind of a blind left. You want to stick far to the left here and come over this crest. And then this turn right here, another coming over a crest to the right. It's kind of a slow, long. I feel like I'm losing time through that turn, and then you're back onto the front straight right here. So that's a lap of Mid-Ohio. It's quite challenging, I think, because of the blind turns, and they're kind of long. You need some rotation, and I definitely didn't get enough practice in this week, but that's the situation. All right, let's go ahead and jump to the start of the race. Jump through. So we qualified. Let's get back onto us. We qualified 45th out of 52 cars. So definitely not great. This looks like we're still in qualifying here. Skip forward a few laps. Yeah, we gotta go back a ways. There was a snuff mix-up in the start of the race here. I'm just see if I can try to get towards it. Right around here somewhere. Okay, so here's us. Sorry for skipping around. We'll back up a tiny bit. So this is a rolling start for this race, and
40 minutes.
So we're starting 45th, and somewhere up here around, I don't know, 6th or something, somebody had some kind of problem. I don't know if they lost their internet connection or their computer crashed, but something happens up here.
We'll do demo derby down around China Beach after the race. We'll wait till the last guy finishes. The clock will over, and so no. This channel will be waiting for the interviews afterwards.
So we're starting to roll off, and somebody doesn't fire off up there. So somebody in the inside lane doesn't fire off.
Okay, Jay, get ready.
And there's a problem. I don't know exactly how it works for this series, but if you pass people before you get to the start finish line, in some series it's a penalty. I'm not sure how it works on a road course with a rolling start with the two lanes. But we've already got the green.
Somebody didn't go. I don't know what was going on there. We'll look at it later.
So anyway, we're going. That was kind of a.
Looks like we had a connection issue.
Yeah, probably. Sorry. A bit of frustration. Have fun, guys.
Sorry, Bobby, let's make a move. This looks caught out last racing there.
So we got a little bit different look today. The white with the yellow.
Everybody knows. Everybody's trying. If that was stopped, then there was probably a reason. So have fun. We'll see you at the end.
Yeah, sorry, guys. I didn't get it.
No, I understood. It's frustrating, but let's all settle down and said there's a reason that it happened. I'm sure he didn't usually do.
People kind of chattering away about what happened at the start there.
Sorry, Marco.
So first lap thing, just trying to keep the wheels on it. We got Bob
To do close swimming, starts left.
Bob right in front of us and Paul Jackson right in front of him. So we get to racing kind of the same guys often. And we got a car right behind us. Try to find a decent camera angle for this track here. This turn one is a little tricky. I haven't found a great reference spot for it, for when to brake. And then going into turn two here,
Sorry, Marco.
I think I brake a little bit earlier than most do, and then kind of get back on the gas for a split second before getting back off for this turn four here.
Go on, buddy.
And I want to be farther away from, kind of diming the turn, be farther away
Okay.
from the apex at the middle. So
Okay.
I think I lost a little bit of time going through there.
Follow back up.
So Bob in front of me is taking kind of a defensive line through here. I go ahead and take the normal racing line. And now I'm able to dive up the inside through that turn, but that puts me on the outside here. But we make it work. And we get by another one there somehow. So if we look at that a little more closely, we'll go maybe chase view here.
Follow back up.
So Bob's on defensive line, kind of, not out with the rubber. And I do a normal kind of thing coming through here, keep it a little bit more to the inside, which he sees it and then has to sort of take evasive action a little bit there. And then these cars get kind of bogged down in front of us there. So we're able to get by two of them there. Pretty quick succession. That was fun. Now we're dealing with Paul Jackson in front of us, trying to get closer to him. So that move we made at the end of the straightaway, getting the car rotated under braking, it's a bit, the car's a bit on edge. You're getting the rear to get into a little bit of a slide on purpose to help you get the car turned. Which is definitely faster, as you could see, but it requires a bit of finesse to be able to pull that off. And you'll see it doesn't work out all the time.
Yeah, big nice there.
Looks like I made up a little bit of ground through there. They're going through turn four. Now we're going along that back straightaway again.
On lap one with power, right?
So see if we can make up any ground coming through. I think it's turn six here. This little bend is 5. And then at the end of this long straight here is 6. So now we're a bit wider. Paul's a bit wider in front of us, sort of. Again, trying to get the car rotated on the brakes. Might have closed up a little bit there. Definitely trying to pressure Paul at this point. But I lost out. I slid the front a little bit, and that cost me probably a car length or two. This turn is tricky here. It's just a long sequence. Ooh, I got a little bit sideways through there. So we can probably see this really good from Bob's onboard. If we look out, if we do cockpit view here, That little jerk there of the car was just sliding. Looked like maybe the front slid out on me or the rear was stepping out or something. I had to sort of
Pause, Thomas.
let's go ahead and fix the field of view here real quick. Again, there's another slide there. So I'm trying a little too hard here and making some mistakes. You can see the car get sideways there on me. Me being the car right in front of the car we're riding along with here. Maybe we should switch to the nose cam here. Uh,
Pause, Thomas.
you can see that sideways motion there. And so Bob makes up a bunch of ground. He's now a couple car lengths closer.
Back it up.
So trying a little too hard. I've lost 3 or 4 car lengths already. Looks like Paul Jackson maybe locked it up a little bit going into turn 4 there. So I'm taking a little bit more defensive line here because I know Bob's a little closer there and I can see him in the mirrors. So instead of running kind of closer to that outside edge, I keep it a little more towards the middle of the track.
Come on.
And Juiced went wide there, lost it in front of us. That's too wide of an angle to see well. That green car back there, he lost, I don't know, four car lengths or so. I mean, 4 positions, I should say, by sliding somewhere up there. Oh, we're following around with the wrong car.
What are you doing, Mark?
You might be able to hear on the radio a little bit. There's a little bit of lack of patience there. Some people getting upset. So either they're being blocked or they just feel they're being blocked. Is usually what's going on when you hear that comment. They're starting to close in a little bit now again on Paul in front of us.
Sorry,
A little bit. Didn't really get that great of an exit out of 4. It was,
guys, break.
basically, it would be faster to go through 4 of being
There you go.
kind of close, like a late apex it basically.
No, Flavio, you didn't. Well,
Again, some people reckon through 6. There's a change of positions right behind us. At the same time, we're making up ground on Paul in front of us. Looks like Bobby West in the green car there had just had an incident too. I'm trying to get there, trying not to push too hard like I did last time. I was getting close through here and lost a
Hope you get
bit of
there,
ground.
Mark.
And now I have a different car on my butt. I think it's I forgot who it was right behind me. Oh, there's a wreck going on right near the pit entry. So lots of action. So right now we are running in 31st position. We started in 45th. With a little bit of the chaos at the start. Some people spinning off here and there. I think Bobby has some damage in the green and white car that just went off screen. Oh, somebody else got some damage there. There we go. Now we're farther away from in the middle of that turn and then close it back down on exit. I kind of chopped across the nose of the car behind me. I realized it a little bit late. I kind of lost track of him into my mirrors. Um, I had a wide entry here for some reason. I was kind of wide away from this curb. Should have been maybe closer to it. And so this black and yellow car here of Jose, um, he takes a more of an inside line through here and gets on my inside as we go through there. We'll switch to maybe far chase. You can probably see it here a little better. Go half speed. So I get farther away, which is kind of where I want to be, this wider line, and then come back towards the inside here. But I lost some speed and uh, got on the brakes late somehow. So I kind of chopped down in front of Jose there. That was sort of the line I wanted, but I didn't do it smoothly. But something like that where you're farther outside and then coming back towards the inside is seems like it would be fast through there. We're drafting down here. Brake a little bit earlier because we got a car right in front of us. Carrying a little more speed through there and trying to leave a little bit of margin of safety. So not being smooth on the brakes and on the throttle is those little kind of wiggles there you see, like right when I get near the apex and the car kind of jerks around a little bit. I may have gotten off the brake and jumped into the throttle a little too hard instead of being really smooth with those inputs. That jerkiness shows up, and it's basically the weight transfer or the weight transferring aggressively from the being on the front tires because you're braking to being on the back tires because you're accelerating. You want to be smooth with that. Smooth is fast. Paul thinks about blocking and decides against it. So where we passed him, it cost him a lot. So he lost quite a few car lengths to us there because he basically had to lift right when he would almost normally be about to get on the throttle. Oop, sound like somebody got into it maybe behind us a little. So now we got to the front of this little train. I can tell Paul has the draft. So again, I'm staying on the inside defensive line. Jose thinks about making it 3 wide there for a second. But then he ends up losing a couple spots. So at this point, we are running 29th, and we are on lap 7. Starting to pull out a gap for a minute there. But then somehow they close right back up, so we must have not had a good entry into those turns. I'm fooling around with my line a little bit, going through turn 1. And right here, I feel like I should be braking a little bit later, but couldn't quite get it figured out. Still kind of not getting turn 4 quite right. That was kind of sort of in the middle, like decent. But the problem is if you're not great through there, these guys are going to pounce all over you. They still might pounce. We got Jose coming up the inside there. He's about to get the pass done on Juiced, it looks like. The rear end stepped out of me a bit there. Let's, I lost a ton of ground through there. So if we look at this from chase view or far chase view, missed the apex. Look at that. Missed the apex by like 2 or 3 car widths there. So you see Paul was able to close right up because of that. Because we had to do more braking and then more turning. So we're not able to carry as much speed through that turn 6. So that cost us quite a bit. Oh, we had too wide of an entry through there. Oh, looks like Juice decided to go for the pit stop, took an early pit stop because he was having to deal with all the traffic of Or no, it wasn't Juice, it was somebody else. Oh, no, it was Juice. I don't know. I'm confused. Having to deal with the three of us there, three or four of us there kind of battling. So he went for the early pit stop. See if that works out for him. It's not a bad move. Lap 9, we're running 27th. So we got some fast guys in front of us. I recognize a couple of those cars. And we still got Paul in tow here. He got a better line through there. You gotta be careful not to run off into the grass on the exit of that turn there. Like Paul closes up kind of every time as he takes a little bit of a straighter line. And that seems to work. So I feel like two places I lose time was that turn right before you get to the pit entrance, that set of turns, and then uh, this turn right here, 2 and 3 and 4. I feel like I lose time. The rest of the track I feel all right, but right here I'm on the brakes a little too much. And then right here I need to be a little wider and then cut it towards the inside. So these guys are far enough back that I'm okay taking my normal racing line through here, trying to get the car to rotate. Under braking. If I see that they're close, I'll take a kind of a tighter inside line going through. But you can basically tell by how good the exit is out of 4, how close they were coming out of 4. I picked my line immediately coming onto that back straightaway. And it's not so much what they're doing, it's what I'm doing. If I mess up 4 a little bit, I know I have to come to the inside on that straightaway. Kind of doesn't matter what they do. Used all the track there. That was good. It meant I was carrying enough speed. I needed to use it all. These guys are carrying a little bit more speed into 4, it looks like. It's hard to tell sometimes where you're losing time. Oh, they got a great draft this time. Jose decides to throw it up the inside. And got into us a little bit, but we all lived. So let's see that there. So we must have got a bad exit here, or not the greatest. They were close enough coming out. Our exit wasn't that bad. They were just close enough to get a draft. And so I decided to stay kind of to the inside, but I didn't want to put myself in a box and be too far to the inside. And I didn't think Jose was going to try it, but he does try it, and I see him in the mirror here. So I leave him space, but not too much space. He overshoots his braking, gets into the corner of us a little bit there, but he saves it, we save it. Uh, let's look at what happens here. So let's back it up from his perspective. Yeah, so he lost the rear end and then was trying to catch it, but he didn't have enough space by himself to catch it, so he ended up clipping us there. Um, he apologized for it a minute later. It's no problem. Um, we lived, so I wasn't too concerned about it. And Bob's trying to pounce on the outside there. So I saw him under braking. I saw him come to make that move, so I knew I had to leave that space there. I couldn't cut all the way to the inside.
Sorry, James.
I don't like talking and turning, so I waited till I got to a straightaway to reply. There's too much going on of shifting, steering, braking.
No worry, Jose. No harm, no foul.
So we're currently running 26th. And Paul kind of got to my inside before I could really like make a move or decide to do anything. So he's got that line. But he wasn't able to pull it off. So let's back that up and look at it from the other angle there. So again, we'll go far chase view. And so we got to leave him space. He's there, of course. He wasn't, so he didn't use all the track. You can't use all of it, but um, he could have been farther to the left. He stayed to the right. He could have used more of this space here. And if you look at it, he's way far to the right here. And we're like on the racing line or far enough to the left. He could have squeezed over here and given himself more of an angle on the entry there, but he didn't do that. And so what happens is we get to the turn, I use up a little bit of that space. He uses up a little bit. I hit my normal braking marker pretty much and turn in and leave him enough room, but not too much, and then try to quickly get back to the throttle to race him to the next turn. And so now he's all out of shape. He's way out there wide. We got to the next turn. We're good to go. So he actually, instead of gaining a spot, he ends up losing one spot, maybe two, um, through that sequence. Yeah, he almost loses a second to Bob there behind him. Um, so it's fun. Works out sometimes. Other times you get the guy on the inside runs it wide or doesn't leave enough room and cleans you out or takes you out on accident or what have you. But I was trying to hang tough on the outside, uh, and it worked because then you get the inside for the next turn. So now I got Jose on my butt. He got a great exit there, coming onto this little front chute. I try to fly it through here. Pulled out a little bit of space on him there. I'm braking a little too hard, I think, for that turn. But that was a pretty good line. I think coming onto the back straight. Let's see how this ends up. So this run out into turn 6 is kind of Probably the most highest chance for change of positions here. So Jose tries the outside. And then that sets him up for the inside. He gets there. So we had to go on side by side there for a minute. Still going. But let's go ahead and back that up a minute to see that for a second, what was going on there. Oh, okay. So he's drafting down into turn 6. Throws it in around the outside. We know he's there, so we can't run all the way out there. We know he's here, so we got to leave him some space. Again, got to leave him some space. Maybe I left him a little too much. Almost lost the rear end there. Kind of sliding it a little bit through here. And we're able to hold on there. Oof, definitely lost some time right there. Oh, and Jose takes it in the pits right there. Probably also make a decision of he's losing time. Try to do it with strategy. Cone in the middle of the track there. Barely missed it. Oh, Copiel ran over it, but didn't collect it. Sometimes oh, and I lose it under braking. The tough part here is you got to find a spot in traffic to get back on the track. Get going again. So that was unfortunate. We had gotten up to 25th by that point before making that mistake. So now we got the early pit stop guys behind us, Stevie Ray and I think that's Kurt Nunez behind us, behind him there. They usually do kind of early stops. So they'll be wanting to get by, but this is for position. Like, they're not putting us a lap down or anything like that. So Stevie dives it around the outside through there and makes it work. That was a great pass.
Thank you, sir.
It looked like Kurt just dove in the pits there, so I don't know. So now we're running 32nd because of spinning off, losing this position here. So it's a total of 7 positions lost in one lap there. All right, back at it here. Very different lines going through there. I haven't raced much with Stevie. He's the league organizer. Um, I see him sometimes at the start of the races, but don't usually end up next to each other too much. Um, Usually he probably starts a little farther ahead of me and then pits early, so just not normally in contention. Using all the track and maybe a little more there. A little too much on the side there. So I'm pushing hard, I'm trying to stay close, and also trying to see what maybe I can learn from him, because I think we're kind of close on pace. He might be slightly faster. So we got Bobby West coming up behind us here. Let's go ahead and ride along board with him and see. Oh, I lost it right there. I lost it. Well, so we're coming. Just lost it on entry right there. That was weird. Not normally a spot I would have expected to have a problem. Uh, I'm guessing I just held the brake a little too long. Because normally you get braking done in a straight line and kind of get back off the brake. And I was already losing it way before we got into the turn. So here the wheel is turned to the right a little bit, and I'm still on the brakes at like 30%-ish, and that's the problem. I should have been off the brake by that point. Basically get off the brake right here, but I still carry some through here. Still carrying it even as I'm sliding. And now I lock it up on purpose, um, just to try to slow the car down and keep the car going in a straight direction, to not swing back out on the tracker, do anything weird. Uh, this is a pretty fast section of the track, so losing quite a bit of time right here. So that's not good. That's two kind of unforced errors here. So I'll go ahead and dive it in the pits. Just to
Look out for the pit speed limit. The pit lane speed limit is 45 miles per hour, 300 feet, 100 feet.
just to go ahead and take a breather, get our stop done. Try not to speed down, go down pit lane, and see where we come out. There goes the leaders right there.
There's traffic behind.
There's first, second, third, and we slow down a little bit here to let fourth by. Let fourth in there, and then go ahead and duck in behind them. And then the cars behind us are not part of the lead pack. A slightly wider view here. So let's go ahead and ride with Kurt for a second here. See if maybe we can see where he's making up ground. Makes up a little bit in there. Definitely closes in a bit here. So let's look at that again here. So he gets up the inside here. We'll switch to RJ's here. So I go ahead and swing out wider after I realize he got to that inside, and then come back in, leave him a space to make it through there. Slid the rear in there on entry, cost us a little bit of time. And braking too late. There was some comment from Kurt there. Not quite sure what that was. Maybe nice or buy or something. I don't know. Now you're saying salty. Like, I don't know. Seemed a little angry there. He said something more, but forgot to push the button down first, so couldn't really hear anything. So not great. Now we're back to 43rd. So that's basically how our day ended. We got up a little bit higher, but then ran out of fuel on the last lap. It ran a little longer than I expected. The leaders got to what kind of would have been the last lap with a couple seconds to go. So then that meant they could do one more lap. So it ran a little bit longer. So even though I have a little bit extra fuel in there, it wasn't enough to do a whole extra lap. So we got to get that worked out and make some changes to fix that. But that was our race. Not a great qualifying. 3 mistakes. No damage, but those 3 mistakes cost us some time in a lot of positions with this many cars on the track. So I don't know, a little bit frustrating, but it's actually kind of a fun race. The first half especially, there's a lot of battling with Jose and Bob and Paul and some other people. So it was fun overall. we're definitely missing out some time on the track. Need more practice. 10 laps of practice is not enough to compete with these guys. Um, so our qualifying was 136.5, and the leaders were in the 134 zeros. So definitely a lot of time we need to fix, need to get faster. But that's that. On to the next one. Thanks for watching.